Network has a new and exclusive line of clothing. First up, the Jiu-Jitsu Rash Guard. This isn't just gear, it's a statement. A commitment to eco-friendly battles on the mats and waves. And for those who live by the bold champion spirit, we have something special. A line for men and women designed not just for the fight, but for life. Wear our bold champion spirit of Jiu-Jitsu Rash Guard confidently. Its striking design with golden figures in combat honors the enduring spirit of competition in martial arts. Pair it with our unisex mesh shorts, the perfect combo of style, comfort, and eco-conscious design for the modern warrior. And don't forget, our Jiu-Jitsu Bold Champion Spirit leggings. This attire is expertly engineered to channel the champion spirit in every move you make. Together, it's not just about looking good. It's about feeling the part and living the Jiu-Jitsu way, both on and off the mats. Meticulously crafted for the yoga studio, the gym, and beyond, blending style, comfort, and the heart of a champion. Wear your passion, embody sustainability, and elevate your practice. Join the league of athletes who wear their values as proudly as their belts. It's more than clothing, it's a way of life. Ringside Report Network, where champions dress for success, sustainability, and the spirit of the sport.
Attention to all professional wrestling fans and followers of the legendary Johnny Genesis North. We are releasing a must-have collection of Johnny North merchandise in our store at merch.ringsidereport.net, starting with our limited edition Johnny Genesis North 3/4 sleeve t-shirt. With a unique design capturing Johnny in action, this tee exudes raw energy and intensity through its versatile 3/4 sleeves for any weather. Stand with our legendary co-host, Johnny North. Make a bold statement in the wrestling community by getting yours today, exclusively at merch.ringsidereport.net.
Get ready to amp up your betting game with Ringside Report Network's latest knockout offer. We've teamed up with our pals at Bet99.com to bring you something that will shake up the betting world. Dave's Picks with boosted odds. Here's the lowdown. Normally you see odds like -200 over at Bet99, right? Picture this. We hit up our buddies at Bet99 and worked out some magic. Suddenly those odds? They're looking a whole lot sweeter at -150. That's right, and we're all about getting you those exclusive, juiced-up odds, only for the Ringside Report universe. So here's the game plan. We dish out the picks, and you keep those eyes peeled. You might see a number on Bet99, but hold up. Wait until Saturday morning rolls around. Thanks to those boosted odds we've snagged for you, those numbers will look much better. I'm all for Bet99 doing great, but let's not kid ourselves. We want to win big too. It's all in good fun, and hey, it's part of the thrill of the game. They're in on it, and we're in on it. It's all about having a blast while pocketing some extra cash. Ready to take advantage of those boosted odds? Go to the special Ringside Report Bet99 link on your screen. We're all about seeing how much we can boost the odds for you, our loyal viewers. And a huge thank you to Bet99 for their support of the Ringside Report Network.
Yes, indeed. Conor McGregor is coming back. We know the date. We know the pay-per-view. We know the opponent. We know the weight. And we'll tell you. We will.
Let's go!
I'm not lying. I know the information, and I have it for you. I'm going to tell you. AJ, are you ready? Freddie, are you ready?
I'm ready, dude.
I'm not
Spit
ready.
it out, man.
I'm not ready.
You're
How
not?
you guys doing? You guys all right?
We're good, man.
I'm good.
How you been doing?
Yeah, I've been doing all right.
How-
It's been
how was your
a
week,
busy
Dave?
week. I went to Monday Night Raw on Monday night at the Bell
I saw
Center.
you.
You
Were
saw
you
me?
at, like-
Were you one of the
I did.
Were you one of the guys yelling obscenities to Chad Gables?
No, I was cheering for Chad Gable. I like Chad Gable. I thought the match was very good. Really good match. Gable and Sammy hit each other with some very impressive high-angle German suplexes right on their head and neck and upper back there. It was pretty rough stuff. I enjoyed the match. I thought they had a hell of a match. Crowd was really hot for it. It was a great main event. It had that big fight feel. It was really good. It was really solid. Sammy's entrance was epic. You know, it was quite an entrance, walking in the building, that whole thing. Crowd went nuts for it. Sammy walked right by my section. I saw Sammy kind of walk in. It was cool.
Security couldn't handle him. That's for sure. I saw that, and security was trying to keep up with this guy, but he was going up, down, left, right. I mean, I got to give it to the WWE fans, man. They are crazy, but they're respectful. I mean, not too many people tried to grab him or it was a bit insane.
Yeah, Sammy did like a whole tour of the Bell Center, and people weren't going to attack him. People were happy. People love Sami Zayn. I saw Johnny North comment, Dave hates Sammy and likes Gable. That's not true. I like Gable, and I like Sammy. I think Sammy's fine. I don't hate Sami Zayn. People think I hate Sami Zayn, but I really don't.
Well,
I think he's fine.
Kind of have it for you.
There are other.
He had it for you
he's
for
not
a bit.
my
He's
not. No, he's not my favorite wrestler. There are other wrestlers that I prefer in the WWE. Like I like Kevin Owens more than Sami Zayn, but I don't think Sami Zayn sucks as a wrestler. His match was very good. He's good. He's good.
But he had beef with you, man.
Yeah.
Remember the time when you said...
Yeah, I know. He was, I don't think Sami Zayn likes me very much, but I really, it is, I don't care. He may not even remember. I doubt, it was so long ago at this point.
Oh, no, he remembers. After I reminded his sister-in-law about you, I said, hey, listen, I said, can you do me a favor? Can you send a text to Sammy to say that it's AJ and Dave Simon says hi? And she did it right in front of me. Remember I told you that? And then you told me that he wasn't too fond of you. I'm like, damn, man, you should have told me before I sent that.
Well, message. I'm not sure if he even remembers anything, whatever.
Oh, he remembers you, dude.
Why do you say that?
I'm just saying. He remembers you.
Well, fine. He can. I don't know why you're trying to bring stuff up here, AJ. There's really nothing there.
Listen, man, because this show is real, man. We get involved with the athletes and the fighters and whatnot. Sometimes they love us. Majority of the time they love us. There's a few that maybe don't, but Sami Zayn is one that maybe he's not on Dave's side, but he's a good wrestler, dude. Just saying.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say, man?
Let me change subjects completely and say
please.
Well, actually, I'm gonna piggyback on what AJ just did because throughout his soliloquy, I was saying to myself, AJ's like the Kramer of our group. He's the guy that just says a bunch of stuff and we all look at him like, hey, what's up, man? You really had a Kramer feel right there.
Yeah.
But it's real, man. That's the thing.
There's nothing, I don't root against him. I don't want him to fail. Were you
happy when he beat Gunther?
Was I happy when he beat Gunther? I don't know. I mean,
what was your reaction?
I didn't have much. I thought, oh, that's surprising. I thought Gunther might win. I was a little surprised. But it's not. Here's the thing. It's not like I hate him or I want him to fail or get hurt or anything crazy like that. I just think, there was an issue. The way he handled it with me, I thought was not great. And it made me not, want to be a big Sami Zayn super fan. You know, it made me go, oh, this guy who I liked from a distance, up close, is like, you know, not exactly what I expected. And it was a little disappointing the way it all went down. And, you know, I don't know. I was disappointed with how it all happened.
It's almost as if one day you saw him cut somebody's fingers off, and now every time when you eat gabagool, you just fall into the
Yeah,
vapes,
it's not
man.
quite that drastic. It's not like seeing my father in Satrials there, Fred, but it's just like, oh, I liked him a lot as a wrestler, and then there was like a thing, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And then he responded to me directly, and it was kind of like, blah, blah, blah. He was like kind of upset about it, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. You know, I just, I didn't understand what was going on. And then there was like no response from him after the apology, and I was kind of like, well, you could just say, oh, it's cool. You know, I mean, we could, you know, there was nothing after, and I was kind of like, okay, you're just going to come blast me and then just kind of ghost me. And I was like, well, it's a weird way to handle it. And I was kind of, you know, it's just like, it's, I'm soured, you know, I'm soured on Sammy. I'm not like, I don't
Fuck you,
dislike him,
Sammy.
but it's kind of like, yeah, I don't love Sammy. I don't love Sammy. I'll say that.
Sammy
I don't
could go
love
fuck
him.
himself.
I don't dislike him.
What?
I don't feel any way towards him, really. I see him and I go, okay. And then when everybody in, you know, Montreal goes crazy for him, I go, I feel kind of left out. But I'm used to feeling left out in Montreal. I'm always feeling left out in this city. This city abandons all
Not
the
for
great
me,
things
bud.
that I love. So I'm not
Not me,
surprised
dude.
that they love
I'm on your
things that
side,
I
bud.
like. You know, I've lived in this city my whole life, and a lot of times the city hates things I love or loves things that I go, yeah, I'm not so hot on that. And I'm just kind of used to that, and it's part of my experience in this godforsaken city.
We need
There it
a
is.
Robbins for you or something,
Wooden
dude.
oven
I mean, that's
pizzas
pretty
are next
sad.
to go, Dave.
Are they? Great.
What?
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Well, it's people because, like, yeah, I don't want to go in there, but you know, like they say it brings out CO2. So, like Valerie Plante was
She's trying to get rid of
maybe
wood oven pizzas?
considering
She's on crack.
banning them or something, but I don't think it's happening. I think people are just taking it out of context.
Well, she better not, because I don't want her messing with my pizza, Valerie.
Fix the potholes. How about that first?
How
You know,
about
we've
make
got
the
potholes since
city-
1976, man. We've
make
got
the city
potholes the
not
size of
feel
elephants.
the way it does. Ugh.
Man, we
God.
gotta have a new mayor. I'm
I
telling you.
mean, you know, AJ,
You know what? Maybe I'll run for mayor. How does
a
that
new
sound?
mayor, a new premier,
Yeah.
a new prime minister. All these things are nice to say until you get them, and then you want a new one, because they're all
Well,
terrible.
Not really. I mean,
They're
there's
all
a few that some people want back, but that's a
terrible
different story.
choices. Every option at every level. The main one that they elected, the number one contender, and the backup. They're all bad options. There are no good options at any level.
So you're saying, Dave, we gotta get government out of our lives. Man, I love you now, man.
I'm saying
Finally coming in.
I'm saying elect GSP prime minister so we could finally make contact with the aliens and have a great representative of this country, the great, masterful George St. Pierre. You think
Can't get any better.
you think that Joe Biden or Donald Trump or whoever's negotiating for the U.S. is going to be all tough and mean when GSP's at the other side of the table? I don't think so. He's not impressed by your performance. Geopolitically.
I mean, he
point
better
there.
be impressed by the bombs, though.
Yeah, he might be, but he can throw bombs with his hands, Fred. More impressive.
Oh yeah.
Okay? He's
And he
the
has a
bombs.
good relationship with aliens too, man. Like, what more can you get? I mean, the guy has international and universal like connections.
Now,
Indeed.
imagine like your Secret Service for like Trump, Biden, or Putin or whatever, and like, you know, your leader has a meeting with GSP. Like, the leader of Canada could literally kill any other leader. So like, there's not a thing the Secret Service could do if they would want to.
It's got a point there. He's got a point. Who do you get him for like security?
For GSP?
Yeah.
Who's his
Who would you get
security
for
detail?
GSP?
I think you get, you get like Francis Ngannou and John Jones and Cyril Gane, and you just get some big old heavyweights to walk around him, That's good security.
The party would be insane, man, that night. But yeah, you're
Man, move over Diddy. These parties are taking over. What? What?
Get Alex
Okay.
Pereira and Max Holloway.
Yeah.
It'd be
Those
a
guys
fucked
are
up,
cool.
like, cabinet, man.
Okay, let's talk about Alex Pereira, who won on Saturday.
Woo!
Do you want to address? Have you guys seen the chatter about Herb Dean and the stoppage and how the fight? Have you seen that? Either of you?
Yeah,
What's the chatter exactly?
Okay.
Because
So Chael Sonnen, the gangster,
Chael,
the
my
American
buddy.
gangster, Chael Sonnen, the man, Uncle Chael,
number one.
who we all love. We all love Chael.
Oh yeah.
But Chael
Number
is
one,
pushing this narrative where Chael has he's becoming the Stephen A. Smith of MMA, where he just has these talking points and he pushes them out there, and sometimes they're completely outrageous and not really based in fact. They're just based in his opinion. And you go, what are you talking about here, man? But then a bunch of people believe it. A bunch of people kind of go with Uncle Chael and they're like, okay, Chael's right. So Chael is putting out this theory going, Jamal Hill kicked Alex Pereira in the cup, kicked him in the balls.
In the nuts.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Herb Dean comes in, and Pereira kind of checks it, And Herb Dean comes in as if he's going to momentarily pause the fight, but Pereira pushes no, I'm good, let's keep going, and then proceeds to punch Jamal Hill and knock him unconscious. So Chael is saying that Herb should have stopped them, pushed them apart at that moment, and then restarted, not let Pereira push him aside because Jamal Hill was already halfway stopped. But
yeah,
I don't buy that.
I don't agree.
So, and I don't agree either because what Herb Dean says and what every referee says before the fight is protect yourself at all times. You gotta be aware of your situation. You're in a fight. I understand Herb was there. Pereira pushed him away. Maybe mentally you kind of halfway checked out, but to say that's why you lost the fight. Now, I haven't heard Jamal Hill say that's why he lost the fight. I've only seen Chael Sonnen say it, and other people in the MMA world are saying, whoa, Herb Dean screwed Jamal Hill. No.
Not really.
No.
No.
Right?
my memory.
Let's be honest.
My memory of that moment is that Herb Dean comes in, Alex pushes him away, and there's still a split second where they seem to have eye contact and agree to resume battle. I don't think there's any moment where Hill is caught off guard. To me, they have visual contact with each other, and both of them are still fighting. So no, I would disagree on that point.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, Fred? I agree with you. There was enough distance between Pereira and Jamal Hill where he took several steps, to come towards him to this is it. Herb Dean didn't really get in there to stop aggressively the fight. I mean, Pereira's a warrior, man. He was in the zone at that point. Jamal Hill was fucked. And that's the thing with Pereira. You kicked him in the nuts, but it didn't matter, man. The game was on. And like you said, there was more than a second, I guess, or you want to call it steps. I think 3 steps before they engaged. That's enough time. I see a guy coming on and the ref is not in between us. Come on. So I love Chael Sonnen, man, and Chael Sonnen's been in the game, more than we've ever been, that's for sure. And he knows, he likes to stir the pot. There's no doubt about it with Chael Sonnen. I mean, he has a point. At some sense, if Pereira was really on top of Jamal Hill when this happened and he went into it, I think the ref should have stopped him apart and really analyze the situation and then restart. But Pereira was perfectly fine, and he's and this is the fight continues, and there was enough gap between those two fighters for him to be ready.
Breaking off, AJ.
AJ, you're breaking up too much, man. Fix your gimmick, man.
What happened,
You're
man?
fully frozen. Your internet is garbage. We can't hear you. Leave.
Man, you didn't hear shit what I said? What a waste
No,
of time,
pretty much
man.
not.
Ah,
It
we
was
heard
all.
it.
We heard
I know,
some
we
of it,
heard
but
it.
it got real crackly. Your video is like basically, you look terrible right now, video wise. I don't know what's
Yeah,
happening
you should
with your.
you should reload your stuff. Man.
Yeah,
What the
exit and
hell,
come
man?
back,
It's
AJ.
perfectly
You gotta
fine.
go.
But you see, Dave, you talk about Chael, and I've been listening to his podcast, and it seems to be like he's thinking out loud a lot. You know, he's not really like he's throwing out a bunch of ideas there. I don't think Chael is. I haven't listened to the clip you're talking about, but Chael likes to, just have a brainstorm with himself, if you want, where he just throws a bunch of ideas and thinks out loud and talks about it. So I would have to listen to his words exactly.
I mean, he's throwing it out there. He's doing this. I think we have AJ back, but he's still his connection is still terrible. AJ, your internet is bad, man. He's like not even there.
Man. There's like a
at that.
lot of hacking going on with like.
There's no hacking. It's just your internet is bad right now. I don't know what's happening, but you're not. I don't know. You're looking like your video is real choppy. I can't hear you. It's not
Reset
working.
your
AJ.
modem and come back, man.
Reset, AJ, and come back.
Reset the modem, man.
Reset
Turn
your
me
modem.
off, man.
He doesn't
Turn
know
me
how to
off
do
like-
that.
Turn me off like my last relationship. Let's go.
What? I didn't even get that. It was an attempt at a joke. Anyways, so Pereira wins, right, on Saturday. He wants to fight again at UFC 301 because it's in Brazil. Now, we took a look at that UFC 301 card. It's terrible. It's really
it's
bad.
awful.
It needs Alex
Yuri
Pereira.
said he would fight him.
Who?
Yuri said he would fight him. Yuri Prochazka.
What are
He
we
said he would
waiting
take
for?
it.
What are we waiting for?
Yeah. But Dave, let me go somewhere else with this, man. And I don't know if you'll agree, but Alex Pereira mentioned he wants to go to heavyweight, and I kind of like that idea. And I'll tell you what, man. If you give me three choices, you give me Stipe, Aspinall, or Pereira for the next opponent for John Jones, I might want to choose Pereira, man. I might want to choose Pereira for that fight.
Yeah, I think that's the most fun fight. I think that's the
That
most
would
exciting
be-
fight. Yep.
If Pereira wants to go to heavyweight, man, I'd be down for that. But yeah, like maybe he defends
That would
one more
be
time
nuts.
against Yuri at 301. But Pereira himself said like he would like to go to heavyweight. And look, man, I'm not gonna doubt him. The guy fucking punches like a mule. Like he kicks hard, he punches hard, he knocks people out so many times. High level guys. I'm not gonna doubt him, man. And if you look at the upper echelon right now at heavyweight, well, I mean, it's Aspinall. I believe he has a chance against Aspinall, and it's like John Jones. And man, the way that Pereira fights, man, he might be kryptonite for John Jones. Like we haven't seen anybody that really could hit that hard in front of John Jones. And John Jones, I'm not sure he would want to trade with him that much. But John Jones has the wrestling. Look what he did to Cyril. He probably would implement some type of game plan like that. But that's a matchup I'd like to see. Pereira versus John Jones.
Thiago Santos, Maheta hit hard.
Yeah, I don't think he's as good as Pereira, though.
Vitor hit hard. But yeah, Pereira's something else.
Pereira has something special, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, we want AJ too, but AJ's not connected to us right now. AJ's having technical issues. So we'll try to get him back, but I don't know.
AJ's on dial-up.
Yeah, it seems like it. I don't know what's going on with his internet tonight, but he's really like I'm looking over at my control center and he's glitching out. So I don't know. Man, Pereira and Yuri would be sick. Pereira and John Jones would be sick. After the win now over Jamal Hill, the whole world's opened up for Pereira. You know? Like his next fight is going to be his biggest fight, probably. It's going to be massive. I really, really hope. I mean, I know that he's an asset now for the UFC. And maybe they don't want to run him back after 3 weeks to fight at the next pay-per-view. But that pay-per-view is so weak Pantoja versus Steve Urseg is your current main event. Main event.
That is awful.
The co-main event is Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo, who's coming out of retirement just to save this card, I guess. Anthony Smith is fighting Vitor Petrino. Michel Pereira is fighting Ihor Potiera. And Paul Craig's fighting Caio Borralho. And that's the pay-per-view. Tell me that doesn't need an Alex Pereira fight. It needs something. It's horrible. Who's going to buy that?
I don't know, but I think the UFC is probably just banking on local talent over there, selling the crowd, and it does whatever it does on pay-per-view. Like right now, that's probably what they're looking at it. And like we're complaining and all, but look at the star power that was on the last card. You know, like you put so many stars on the card just before. Of course, the next one's gonna look depleted, and it is.
They got to pace themselves then maybe a little bit, you know? Maybe they overloaded this card. Did we need the Fight Pass prelims to be ridiculous like that? Like, couldn't you have saved a couple of those fights for this 301 card? This 301 card needs something. We're still going to watch it. You know what I mean?
Are we?
Maybe.
Are we really doing a watch-along for Pantoja and Urseg?
It's going to be tough to... I don't know. I'm not sure, honestly. We'll see. We do a watch along for every pay-per-view, but this doesn't feel like a pay-per-view. This feels like a fight night that they're making people pay for. I mean, it's terrible. It's what happens when you hotshot a card. You know, when you put all your eggs in one basket, you got nothing else left for the next pay-per-view.
But what a great card, man.
That was incredible.
I saw some of your reactions with AJ.
Yeah.
And I loved okay, so the Gaethje and Holloway fight, of course, was incredible. But I'll tell you what, man, I was also a fan of the Zhang Weili fight where she almost choked out her opponent in the first round. It was so close. And in the second round, she almost finished her with a TKO. So, like I read somebody say, like Zhang Weili is the first one to have a sub, a TKO, and a decision in the same fight, which was kind of true.
It is true.
Like the whole card was incredible, and the three main fights delivered. It finished late, but the three main fights really delivered.
It was incredible. Tsarukian and Oliveira was a really good fight, close fight.
Very good also, yeah.
Bo Nickel looked good there against Brundage. Holloway and Gaethje was fight of the year, maybe greatest fight of all time. Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan was crazy. I mean, the refereeing there was pretty garbage, but it made for a more exciting fight, I guess. And then Pereira Hill with the first-round knockout was nice to finish off the night like that. I think we have AJ back. But yeah, UFC 300 was incredible. It's too bad you missed the watch-along. We had a lot of fun. And the reactions were definitely golden, and we have those out in shorts on the channel. You can go check those out. It's a lot of fun to see us react to the knockout of Holloway over Gaethje, and then Pereira knocking out Jamal Hill. It was fun. So what's next for Pereira? Is it John Jones? Is it Yuri Prohaska? I don't know. I would rather they not wait and give me another Pereira fight at 301 to salvage that card, but it didn't look like Dana White was interested in making that, so I guess, you know, it is what it is. And I could see Pereira. I don't think we see him fight John Jones, though, because I don't think John Jones really wants that fight. I think it's going to be Stipe and then retirement for Jones. I think very possibly, though, we see Pereira versus Aspinall, which would be pretty sick, too. And if Pereira can beat Aspinall and become a heavyweight champion, you know, triple champion in the UFC, middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight, no one's ever done it in 3 different weight classes. You're going to have to start looking at Pereira as maybe one of the greatest MMA fighters, if not the best MMA fighter of all time, given what he's been able to do pound for pound. It's hard to argue with Alex Pereira if he can move up to heavyweight and actually become champion there. That's a whole nother thing.
And don't forget, he was also a 2-time kickboxing champion. I mean, this guy is like, he's unbelievable.
Yeah. I hear you, AJ, but I can't really see you, man. Your connection is still really bad. You're really
and you know what?
glitchy
It's getting
tonight.
worse. Someone's not like messing with this because every time you say that, it got worse. It was perfectly fine all day, and now it's going to like 1980 internet levels.
Are you trying to blame me or Fred? I can't even understand who you're trying to blame.
I don't know, man. It's like it was working perfectly fine on this end up to now. There you go. You see it's happening again. So weird. So weird.
I kind of like watching AJ technically glitch. It's kind of entertaining for me. I don't know if the audience is enjoying. What do you think, Angelo? What do you think, Lior? What's up, Lior? What's up, Angelo? Members of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. Thanks for supporting the channel.
I feel TV
Rakic
in the
and Yuri
70s
was a great fight, too,
quality.
at UFC 300. Sorry, Fred, what?
I was going to say, I feel TV in the 70s had better quality than the video feed of AJ right now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if 4K is good, AJ is what, like 500? He's like half a K.
Not even.
Where's the technical team, man?
He's 8-bit.
AJ, there's nothing the technical team can do about your internet connection. There's nothing we can do to help you have a solid internet connection. That's between you and your provider. There's nothing I can do to help you. Restart your router, AJ, Lior says. Lior can help
restart
you.
Everything.
We tried to tell you to restart your shit, and you didn't. And now you're like blaming us and asking us for help at the same time, which is really not the way to get anything, AJ.
I know that.
Old man yelling at clouds.
I know.
Yeah, just yelling at us, like blaming us for the issue and then asking for help. Good job.
Well, that's what it's supposed to do. Okay.
That's what you're supposed
to do.
Turn
me off. Turn me off. I'm going to go
I'm turned
touch
off.
the rack.
Yeah, touch grass. Do whatever.
That's what she says to AJ.
Yeah, exactly. Turn me off. He's like, I'm already there. Don't worry. Way ahead of you. I'm going to yell at you and then ask you for help. Oh, he's a good man. We love him. He is the man. He's having technical issues. It's frustrating. It's happened to me. Angelo says the Holloway Gaethje fight was the best fight of the year so far. I agree. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen. Incredible.
Did
Amazing
the eye
finish.
pokes change the fight? I've heard people argue that.
I mean,
I'm not sure, man. I think Holloway was so on his game. And I picked Gaethje. I thought Gaethje was going to win, but Holloway was just on his game. Holloway has such great cardio. In the fifth, he has the same energy as the first. But
yeah,
the eye pokes definitely did affect a bit.
I think, I don't know. You'd have to ask Gaethje about the eye pokes and how bad they affected him. But the fact that Holloway poked Gaethje once in each eye in the span of like 90 seconds in that second round, and Holloway got like a warning, I guess, but didn't get a point deduction, nothing. 2 eye pokes in like a minute and a half. I didn't like it. I didn't like that the referee was just like, don't do that. It's like, yeah, well, he knows not to do that. Before you go into the fight, no one thinks, oh, can I eye poke? You know you can't poke the guy in the eye. So when you do it once, it's like, yo, don't do that. When you do it again, 90 seconds later, maybe you get a point taken away. Because, I mean, how many times can you poke a guy in the eye before you go, there's a point. Like, it's too much. You have to blind the guy and then stop the fight? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me that Holloway was able to get away with that. I'm not saying Holloway's a dirty fighter. I'm just saying you have to be careful of your weapons. And if Gaethje's not poking you in the eye, if he's not fouling you, and you foul him, that's on you. And if you do it once, okay. You do it twice in the same round, I mean, I think the referee should have taken a point away, at the very least. It wouldn't have mattered in the end because he won by knockout. But I think if you do 2 eye pokes in one round, it's a point. It's enough. You can't do that. You can't be, because MMA is a problem with fouls. Like, we have a problem. You can kick a guy in the balls how many times before you get a point deduction? There's no clear rule. There's no rule. You can poke a guy how many times before you get a point deduction? No rule, except it's a referee's discretion. So if the referee decides not to do anything, the fighter who's getting fouled is just getting fouled. And the fighter who's committing the fouls is getting unfair advantages. You poke me in the eye, you kick me in the balls, it's illegal, and it hurts. I may have 5 minutes to continue. I may want to continue, but I may also be compromised by the foul. So I think the eye pokes, whether they affected Gaethje or not, shouldn't have happened and should have been penalized. I'm tired of people getting fouled in MMA and not get, like, if I was a fighter, if I was Gaethje's corner, I'd be going bananas. If I was Gaethje, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, yo, this guy poked me in the eye twice. Can I kick him in the dick? Can we even this out? Like, I would try to kick him in the dick. I'd be like, well, fuck it. You poke me in the eye, here's a dick kick, bro. It's only right. It's only right. Like, I'd be mad. I'd be biting. I'd be going full Mike Tyson if somebody poked my eye. You know, the fact that these guys maintain composure is amazing. Because I think I'd go bananas. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. I don't think, like, definitely there should have been a point taken off. 2 in 1 round is a lot. And maybe it affected Gaethje, but what I think affected Gaethje most was his broken nose. Once his nose was like broken, it slowed him down. You could feel like his breathing, or he just felt like a fighter that was going uphill. Like, he was going uphill with a broken nose, so it wasn't easy. So if I had to pinpoint anything that affected, is that kick. I think it was a kick that broke his nose.
Yeah, and end of the first.
Yeah, exactly. That to me is the turning point in that fight. That's what put the momentum for Max Holloway.
And it was such a weird. It was that spinning back kick that Holloway threw a bunch in the fight. Yeah, and it just landed perfectly with Gaethje kind of going down, almost level changing, and then Holloway doing that spin, and just it hit him just kind of right across the face. It just kind of grazed the top of his face and just shattered his nose. And he was fine. Like, his face was fine throughout the round. Then he gets kicked, and it looked like it hit him in the body. But then as soon as he goes to his corner, he's like a bloody mess. And you're like, well, what the hell just happened? And then they show the replay of the kick, and you're like, oh, it hit him in the face. It was just a really weird, unlucky break for Gaethje taking that kick, because you take that kick, it just kind of happens to land in the perfect spot. And, you know, I mean, Holloway was by design, but it also kind of, it was a, you know, it was a perfect kind of timed lucky move. There was some luck to it, you know? There was intention there, but there was also luck by the way Gaethje reacted. So, Gaethje getting his nose broken, I mean, you're severely compromised after that. You can't breathe, and you got 20 more minutes of fighting against Max Holloway. Yeah, Gaethje had some tough breaks in that fight that contributed to his loss. But I don't think Holloway, you know, stole it from him. There was not, you know what I mean? Whatever. The fight went the way it went. That's MMA. That's the way the cookie crumbles. When you have two fighters that are at that level, that's how fights are going to play out sometimes. And Holloway came in and looked better than he's ever looked in his life. Looking big, strong, looked like a 55er. Looked like a 55er. I would not mind seeing fight Islam Makhachev at some point. But also looked like a guy who, if he dropped down to 45, would definitely be a problem for the champion there, Ilia Topuria. So no matter where Holloway goes, no matter what champion he fights next, and it should be a champion because he's the BMF champion and he just beat Justin Gaethje by knockout in the greatest fight ever, Holloway deserves a title shot at 55 or 45. And that's what happens when you deliver a masterful performance on a card, on a platform like UFC 300. When you win, and you win like he did, the world is your oyster, and you could take 55, 45, title shot is yours, Mr. Holloway. Right this way. Red carpet rolled out. Incredible.
I mean, with Makhachev and Poirier already being scheduled, I think that fight's official. So if I would think it's probably at 45 for Max. Max is gonna go down against Topuria, and that's an incredible matchup. Like, and if he's successful, wins that one, then give me a champion versus champion, Makachev versus Holloway. I'll be down for that because yeah, the performance he displayed makes me wonder maybe he could give a good matchup to Makachev, but then there's Makachev's wrestling, his size. But Holloway has the spirit of a warrior. If anybody could play David versus Goliath and be David, it's him. Like he's a warrior inside, and I wouldn't be surprised if he would get a win against Makhachev. But right now, his fight to take is against Topuria, and styles make matchups. Like Max lost to Volkanovski multiple times, and Topuria beat Volkanovski. But styles make matchups, and also maybe Topuria got Volkanovski on a down. Like Volkanovski had lost 2 fights to Makhachev, so maybe Volk went down easier than he used to. So I want to see Topuria versus Holloway. I think that's the best fight to do right now at 145. And if Holloway wins, great, man. From there, we'll see after that. But I wouldn't mind seeing him go up for a super fight.
Yep, I think there's a lot of options for Holloway. I think Topuria makes a lot of sense. I think Topuria has fewer options that are fun to main event a pay-per-view with than Islam. I think Islam has more opponents lined up, more big-name opponents that he can headline with. Like Dustin Poirier, who is going to fight Islam Makhachev for the 155-pound championship. Poirier coming off a big win over Benoit Saint-Denis, will fight for the belt on June the 1st. UFC 302 in Newark, New Jersey. Poirier versus Makhachev. Main event, UFC lightweight title on the line. Co-main event will be Sean Strickland, the former middleweight champion, taking on Paulo Costa. Apparently, Arman Tsarukyan was offered the title fight after his win over Charles Oliveira backstage, but turned it down because it would be like 2 months away and he wanted to be fully prepared for the fight of his life, which you can understand. So immediately they turned around and announced Dustin Poirier was going to get the shot. So I guess Poirier was the backup plan, and they went with Poirier, and I think that's cool because that's a fun matchup. Poirier has a lot of fans. I think this will sell more pay-per-views than a Tsarukyan-Makhachev fight, right? Poirier and Makhachev is way bigger. I don't think anybody's going to give Dustin much of a shot in this fight, but people were counting Dustin out against Benoit Saint-Denis, and he looked amazing. But I think I'm going to be one of those thinking Islam's got this in the bag. It feels like this is going to be an Islam win.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Benoit Saint-Denis, but he's not Islam Makhachev. Like, that's another level. Islam got that title for a reason. He's the baddest 155er out there right now. And I just see him ragdolling maybe a little bit Dustin, like bringing him to the ground as he wish, doing a lot of damage, and probably finishing this fight by TKO at some point.
Yep. Or a submission. I could see a sub. Unless Dustin jumps that guillotine and, pulls off a crazy upset. You never know, Fred. MMA is bananas. I mean, and Dustin... we picked a lot of losers for UFC 300. So why wouldn't we pick losers for UFC 302?
I lost all my bets.
Yeah, right? We sucked.
Yeah, I lost. I had Oliveira. I had what's her name? Holly. I had, and what's the other one that I lost? I forget. Oh yeah, Jalen Turner. He
lost too. Yep.
Cost me, and I won't pick against Moicano right now. No more, man. Moicano, proud libertarian, gave a good speech after the fight. Thank you, Renato.
Should we check in on AJ? AJ's internet is very bad.
Let's give him a chance, man.
He's like halfway connected to us, but
let's ask him what he thinks of Chandler versus McGregor. And
okay,
if it
Chandler
bugs,
versus
we'll just
McGregor.
Cut him off and talk about it.
UFC 303, June 29th. Michael Chandler will be fighting Conor McGregor finally. AJ, use your cell phone maybe. Let's see if we can get AJ. I'm being told you need to reboot your modem, AJ, or use your cell phone internet instead of your home internet, because your home internet sucks. Switch to your cell phone internet to connect with us. Can you do that, AJ?
Well,
can you hear me?
I can do that. I can do that, man. I can do that. But I got to get off of what I'm just presently on the telephone.
Yeah, do that. Okay.
I'm not convinced he could do that.
I have a thing in front of me here on the side. I have a whole control panel, Fred. As you know, you've been in the studio, right? You understand. I have a program that shows me the strength of the internet. Okay? So if you're red, you're not connected. If you're yellow, your signal's weak. If you're green, you're strong. You are green the whole time. Once in a while, you flicker to yellow for like half a second, but you stay green. Basically, you're green. AJ is like yellow the whole time and then flickering down to red. He's like not really connected and then basically not connected at all and then coming back. Like AJ, you know, it's like a stoplight system. You know, green is good. Green is go. It's a go for his internet. Yellow means it's going to slow down, and red is like stop. So he is kind of in between a slow down and a stop for his internet connection tonight, and I have a way of seeing this. And that's why AJ's not been on the show, unfortunately. So
I'm not convinced he knows how to get on his phone internet.
I'm not convinced he does either, because I still see him connected. He can still hear us maybe a bit, and he hasn't disconnected to us to fix it. Like I don't know what he's doing. But he hasn't reconnected with a stronger connection, so we can't really go to him. It's too bad. No AJ. The people want AJ, I want AJ, you want AJ, but there's no AJ. There is Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, UFC 303, June 29th in Las Vegas, Nevada. The UFC made it official. Did you see how Dana did it? He got like a little scrap of paper while he's doing the press conference. He's like, oh, what's this? Oh, yeah. So we're doing Poirier versus Islam in Jersey for UFC 302, June 1st. Co-main event, Strickland and Costa. And then he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Conor's coming back against Michael Chandler, UFC 303, June 29th. No big deal. It'll be at 170 pounds. Dana kind of was like, nonchalant, just kind of playing with everybody. It's pretty good. It was pretty good. 170.
Good. Good, man.
Why not?
I don't expect him to win, but finally we could put that discussion to rest. He could come back, lose a fight, and then we could spend another 18 months wondering when Conor's going to have his next fight.
I'm going to spend from now until June 29th trying to convince myself that Conor will win. I want him to win. I want him to, though.
He won't.
But if he wins, he might stick around, and it's good for the sport. It's good for everybody. He brings the views up. He brings, eyeballs to the sport. He's a needle mover. He's Conor McGregor. I like when he wins. It's good for the game.
Chandler got this. But, so I'm of the opinion that, McGregor isn't taking his training camp seriously for many years now, that he's not a full-time MMA fighter, and you can't be at this level being a part-timer. But that said, man, Chandler hasn't fought in a very long time. But if anything, I think Chandler's probably in the gym often. I'm just speculating. I have no info on the subject. And Conor is not. So just on that fact, I'm going to have to go with Chandler. I'm going to go with Chandler, who's probably training for the biggest fight, the biggest payday of his life. And Conor McGregor, this is going to be a good payday, but it's just another payday, man. Conor McGregor's a multi-millionaire. So whereas Michael Chandler probably wants this win a lot because he wants to add a couple of zeros to his bank account.
He's been waiting for it. He wants it to pay off. He's been waiting. AJ, can Conor beat Michael Chandler? Blair Witch AJ here. Oh, boy. Your connection is still garbage. Your connection is still really bad, AJ, and you look like you're in Blair Witch Project.
I feel like the Blair Witch Project right now. Damn, this sucks.
Do you give Conor a shot at winning against Chandler?
Absolutely,
of course
man.
You do. Yeah, you think he's going to win? You're picking him?
Well, listen, it's simple. Let me take off this shit. It's simple. because a guy
Yeah,
he's a southpaw. Just
you
don't
can't
forget
hear
that
me?
Conor's a southpaw.
That's
I
good.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know why you don't have head. Okay, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that what people forget is that Conor's a southpaw, and when you're fighting a southpaw, especially with Chandler, who's not very, very tall, it's gonna be a terrible, terrible night for him. I think the only thing that he's gonna try to do is try to take Conor down, because that seems to be the magic that actually works against Conor. But I think it's gonna be a very different night. I think Conor's gonna be able to keep that distance and keep connecting until he knocks him out. I think Chandler will get knocked out, and it's gonna be again the Conor McGregor ride. People forget, man.
Yeah, Ireland, motherfucker. Let's go.
Exactly, man.
Conor
Where's my
McGregor,
Conor?
let's fucking go. Let's do it.
Listen,
I think you have a
this
point.
guy's there for
Chandler's
a reason.
been
Let's not
inactive.
forget.
Chandler's been inactive. Conor's fought at 170 before. This is Conor's timeline. This is Conor's weight.
Right.
This is Conor's show.
Fuck,
this is all built behind Conor. I know that realistically he shouldn't win. It doesn't seem like he's been training. It seems like he's been on a yacht doing cocaine with strippers all day, every day. However,
don't believe the hype.
AJ brings up a good point about Conor's knockout left hand, Conor's devastating striking, and the fact that Michael Chandler, a little bit smaller, will have a reach disadvantage, and he's also been inactive, and Chandler's also been knocked out before. Conor McGregor always has that knockout power, and of course I'm talking about the puncher's chance in this fight, which I think Conor's going to come in as an underdog. But as time goes on, people like AJ and maybe people like me will start to convince you that Conor might win and get you excited, and maybe the line will change and Conor will come in as a slightly smaller underdog than he is currently.
Dave,
I'm believing in it. I'm believing in it a little bit, mostly because I want it to happen. And I know that MMA is a wild game, and Conor has knocked a lot of people out before, and he's not fighting a 170 guy. He's fighting a 155 guy at 170. This is on his timeline, his game, his schedule. He's been real juicy.
That's
He's
right.
probably not taking any drug tests. I mean, it's possible.
Conor is the favorite right now, minus
What?
120.
Really?
There you go, man.
Okay.
Absolutely, man. Don't mess with southpaws.
Okay. Don't mess with South
And
Park.
don't forget, Dustin Poirier was a southpaw as well. So it was kind of hard. Like sometimes when you get caught on the outside, you get connected. But it was a different game with Poirier. But with Chandler, it's going to be like, he has that heavy right. He has that short kind of little right hook. I mean, he's going to get caught by Conor. I guarantee you. Conor's, listen, man, as much of a showman as he is, as much as of a movie star that he is currently and whatnot, the guy is in top shape. You look at Conor, he's always remained in top shape. That means he's in the gym and he's doing his boxing, he's doing his wrestling, he's doing his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The guy is active. Hollywood or not, when the time comes for Conor to fight, he puts himself in Conor mode. And I'm telling you, man, I think this rest for Conor was the best thing that could happen, because that leg got enough time to heal. And that was the thing that concerned me the most, was that tibia break. And you know what? I think Conor's going to come out strong. He's going to have a couple more fights, and then, we're going to see the end of the era of Conor McGregor. But the guy's brought so much to this sport. I would love to see him walk away, more than any other fighter. And I'll be honest, man, it's, I'm talking like George and Khabib and Anderson Silva and all the rest, man. I want to see Conor walk away from this sport as a champ, as a winner, whatever it takes. I don't want to see him leave this sport as some guy who lost the fight. And I don't think Conor wants to see that either. I think Conor is so pumped to walk away from the UFC because he wants to be recognized as the greatest. And you know what? He's done a lot, man. Not just inside the octagon, but even outside, obviously outside of the octagon, in many different aspects, from boxing to business to producing one of the most viewed movies of I think the last, I don't know how many years, man, with Roadhouse. So the guy, whatever he touches turns to gold, including his retirement. Remember that. Remember my words.
What are your words?
My words is that he's going to pave his retirement with gold. He's not walking out as a loser.
Okay. Well, we will see. We will see what happens with Conor. I'm rooting for him because he's the biggest star, the biggest money maker this sport has ever seen. He's completely changed the game, and if he can keep the money train going, he could not only make Michael Chandler a multimillionaire by fighting here, but he could make some more guys some money. Because if you fight Conor McGregor, you're cashing in. And I think that's good for the sport. I think it's good for the UFC. They're making more money. The fighters are making more money. Conor's making. I mean, I don't care if Conor makes more money. He's already made all the money in the world, but good for him. He deserves it. He has changed the game. I just like the fact that, whoever fights him becomes a bigger star and they have a good payday. I think it's great, man. He really uplifts the rest of the sport. And the fact that he's fighting again against Michael Chandler is really great, and Chandler should thank him for the payday because Conor didn't have to show up. Conor didn't have to do any of this. And I know Chandler's pissed, and he's been waiting, and he wants to kick his ass and all of that. But when the fight is over, he better thank Conor for the payday because, he's fighting, he's making money, he's doing this because of Conor. It's all about Conor. He's a massive star. He brings eyeballs to the sport that wouldn't be there. Fighting him, hating him, loving him or not, you got to respect what he's done for the game. And I think as his opponent, you should feel some sort of gratitude because, no one else is going to bring you that type of money. No one. Why do you think Nate Diaz wants to keep talking about Conor and attach his name there? He knows. Changed his life. Fighting Conor McGregor changed Nate Diaz's life. Before Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz was making, 10-10 a fight? Wasn't that the deal? Remember that? Nate was making like nothing. He was making no money in the UFC. He was complaining. All of a sudden, he beats Conor McGregor.
Boom.
And he's a megastar, and he's rich and famous. And then he fights him again and makes even more money. Like, Nate's whole life was made because of Conor McGregor. You think he hates Conor? He doesn't hate Conor. Conor's a golden goose. He loves Conor. He wants to do business with Conor, make it happen outside of the UFC so they can keep all the money. That's what Nate's trying to do with Jorge Masvidal right now. Problem is, I don't think there's going to be a ton of money to go around, boys. I don't think there's going to be a lot of interest. I don't think MMA really gives a shit about what they're doing right now. Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal on like a media tour try to promote their boxing fight. No one gives a shit. No one cares. When is it? I don't know. You know what? The boxing fight I want to see? Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. That other shit, it's like whatever, man. They should have put that on the undercard of Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Put Nate and Jorge on the undercard. Then I'd watch it. Otherwise, call me when they're fighting MMA again. I don't want to see these guys with big old boxing gloves doing a shitty boxing match. Who cares? What are you guys doing?
You're right, dude. You're right. You're absolutely right, man.
I know.
And I agree with you. That should be like the undercard. I agree with you. But, yeah.
The fact that I'm right and you agree with me is a surprise. I know I'm right, but I'm always right, but you don't always agree with me when I'm right, Because you're sometimes wrong, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes. Hey, and listen, right, man, just a couple of things. No. I managed to get on with another phone.
Yeah,
that was a big challenge there.
It's finally.
I don't know how I did it, but mind you, I don't have that much battery. Like, I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, shit, there's another problem happening.
That's fine. You came on too late anyways. I wish you would have figured this out earlier, but the show's over, so it is what it is, bro. You're good.
Damn it. It's okay.
It's okay. I'll be back here tomorrow night with Johnny North, who's got all his technical issues settled. He's perfect. He's got it all done. He's like Fred. He knows what he's doing. Johnny will be with me tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll talk about everything in the WWE. I was at Monday Night Raw, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about AEW. We'll be previewing AEW Dynasty. Another pay-per-view this weekend for Big Dave. AEW Dynasty coming up on Sunday. We will preview that one coming up. On tomorrow, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I just got distracted by Johnny North saying that I'm on a thing tomorrow. I'm not on that thing.
That's right.
I wasn't able to connect with the Hitting the Turnbuckle guys today. I wasn't on their show. I know they promoted me on, but I had a slowdown in my travel, and I wasn't able to make it in time to do the show with those guys. My life is crazy these days, and I really don't have time for anything. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it with them, and I think I'm going to go on their show this weekend. So, I'll promote it on my Twitter at Dave Simon MMA when it comes out. It'll come out. I'm going to do something with our boy Andy out in England this weekend. I'll be on his podcast, but it just didn't work. I was on the Metro, and it got delayed, guys. I was on the Metro. And then I get on the train, and then the train didn't leave for 15, 20 minutes, which just screwed my whole afternoon.
He had his Kit Kat break. These guys take breaks all the time, man. That's the problem with public transport in Montreal. Talk about the mayor earlier.
Oh, God.
It's not great, man.
It's not great. I've been taking the Metro more recently, and I hate it. I hate it. It's awful. It's people
The smells,
near me.
the people, man. It's
I
terrible.
hate it. I hate it. Oh,
And you need
God.
to know jiu-jitsu when you're riding that thing, man.
I'm never
I'm surprised you
worried for
haven't
my
got into a fight
safety. I
yet.
just don't like the human contact. I like being here in the confines of the studio, the friendly confines, you know? I'm by myself. It's good. You know, sometimes AJ comes, my brother comes, Johnny comes. That's all right. But, you know, like a lot of people around me, especially like if I sit down and somebody sits down right next to me, it's like somebody I don't know. I hate that. I'll get up and be like,
You start touching your leg?
I'd rather stand on a Metro than sit next to another human. I'm not about that life. No. Don't sit next to me, man. I'm not trying to sit next to anybody. Fucking disgusting. All right, we're done. Johnny North says people need to stop using pepper spray. Has that been a thing that's common in the Metro now? Pepper spray?
Yeah, man. Yeah. They've been doing it in the Metro, in the air vents. It's like a newest like fad or something, you know?
What?
Nothing like having asthma and getting pepper sprayed, you know?
Yo, if I catch anybody
Johnny
doing
knows,
anything,
man.
if I catch anybody doing anything like that, could you imagine what I would do? Be bananas.
Pepper spray their ass.
Because I'll tell you, I'm in the Metro. I don't like being in a Metro, so I'm kind of in like a salty mood a lot of the times when I'm in the Metro. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like ready to smack a motherfucker already. Like, just like give me a reason. So if I saw, like, if I had a reason, it would be fucking devastating. You know, like, I'm already kind of pissed because, like, I'm in the Metro and I'm pissed. So, like, you give me a reason to do something? Jeez. Yeah. I'm not a good public transit user. I don't get along.
Listen, Dave, I had enough trouble yesterday here in NDG with all the problems that, like, I don't know if that transpired with the police and all that kind of stuff. It was nuts, man. I was there, by the way.
I know.
I was there. I saw everything.
Today, man, I was getting on the Metro. I was getting on a train. And, like, you know, people are getting off the train. You wait for people to get off. This woman came from behind and, like, pushed by me to, like, push in to get on the train so she could sit her fucking ass down and get a seat.
Fat ass.
And, like, I was just like,
Gosh.
I was just like, do you just fucking push by me? Like, what the fuck? And I would never hit a woman. However, in this moment, I was like, you fucking, like, what the fuck? Like, my Metro been delayed. I'm sitting there for a while. And then this fucking motherfucker pushes by me. I'm like, you fuck. God damn. I was really mad. I was fucking mad. And I was like, if you were a man, I would fucking snatch you up. You know, like, fuck, man. Whew. All right. I stay cool, though.
Let it out, Dave. Let it out.
I don't attack anybody. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything. I'm not attacking people. But I could. And the fact that I could makes me think other people should be more respectful because you never know who you're pushing. If I was crazy and dangerous, like, I'm dangerous, but I'm not crazy. If I was crazy and dangerous, like, what the fuck?
Listen, maybe Johnny's wrong. Maybe you should carry some pepper spray, and someone does that, you just pepper spray her, man. That's it, man. There you go.
I'd rather slap somebody in the face than pepper spray him because it seems less bad.
Not if you have bear spray.
Okay, let's stop talking about this. We're done. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you. That's a little glimpse into Dave's travels. Yankees are still in first place. They beat the Blue Jays last night. They came from behind. They were down 4-2 in the ninth inning. They came back to win 6-4, a 4-run ninth, capped off with a 2-run single from the captain, Aaron Judge. Very nice to see that. The Yankees won finally after losing 3 straight. They dropped 1 in Cleveland after sweeping a doubleheader on Saturday. They dropped 1 on Sunday. Then they traveled to Toronto, lost on Monday, lost on Tuesday. So they'd lost 3 in a row for the first time this year. And then they won yesterday in Toronto. They have an off day today, back at it tomorrow against the Tampa Rays. And, of course,
what?
Yankees are still in first place, so we're good. So I'll talk to Johnny North about wrestling tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, everybody, for watching. The Ringside Report MMA show will be back next Thursday at 8, as we are every Thursday, 8 p.m. here on the Ringside Report Network. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good